We all know these people. You know, the people who live in Central Park penthouses but say they're poor. The people who have 3 family cars but say they're poor. The type of people who have a small trust fund and a moderate super PAC. I'm not talking about white people. I'm talking about people who pretend to be poor. So there was this girl in my class, whose name will remain anonymous for obvious reasons. But for practical reasons, let's call her Susan. Now, Susan clearly came from a very wealthy family. It was visible. You could smell it on her. Either that, or she just found an Apple Watch, iPhone 6, and several assortments of J's on the street. Oh, and some dope-ass perfume. Like I said, you could smell it on her. So one day I enter math class and I sit down and start copying all the questions on the board. It's Friday, and no one is especially eager to start class, not even the teacher. I can't help but overhear the conversation Susan and her girls are having. I'm seated right next to them, and I hear Susan say,
"I'm fed up with this stupid school. Public schools are so terrible. When I was in private elementary school, it was so much better. But my parents are way too poor to afford that type of crap. So I'm so stuck here right now."
Now just know that that is not her exact quote, nor is it her exact voice. But my representation of Susan is meant to purely get across the point that she either thinks she's poor, or that she thinks she's poor, while in reality she is rich. Now just know I'm not trying to villainize rich people. The richest man alive, Bill Gates, is a huge philanthropist. Oprah is a philanthropist. FDR was a huge philanthropist. And the richest man in history was in fact a huge philanthropist. So don't think I'm bashing rich people, because I'm not. Right now, I'm bashing Susan, and my portrayal of her is complete hyperbole and satire. In all honesty, I have no problem if you are rich. Don't think this video is me expressing my discontent or jealousy, because it's not. The first reason why rich people would do this is because they simply want to fit in. It's obvious that rich people, or any people, regardless of their status, can face struggle, whether it be emotional, psychological, or social. Anyone can face these struggles. So maybe some rich people pretend to be poor, or less rich, to fit in better. I know it sounds crazy, but think about it. If you were put in a room with Bill Gates, what would the first thing you'd ask him be? Obviously something about money. How did you get so much money? Who else has this much money? What do you do with all that money? Can I have some money? It's natural to try to fit in, and it's natural for people to know that you're lying and trying to fit in. So if we could all stop seeing people with tangible emotions as money, rich people would probably stop trying to fit in by lying about how much money they have. It's no secret that rich people are portrayed as villains everywhere. Lex Luthor, Ozymandias, London Tipton, Eagleton from Parks and Recreation. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the rich, snooty archetypes that are seen in popular films and media. While there is some truth to this stereotype, there are a lot of rich people who are villains, or in my opinion, bad people. Donald Trump, Mitt Romney, and Justin Bieber, or at least the Justin Bieber who was literally burning money. As of late, he's been pretty good and he has said sorry. I'm talking about social Darwinists, the type of assholes who fit the stereotype. Not necessarily social Darwinists though, just those types of people. Those rich people do not represent all rich people. Just look at people like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Oprah, FDR. You get the idea, right? The reason why rich people are always branded as penny-pinching selfish douchebags, or people who got lucky in the lottery and spent it all on alcohol, is because it's easy to stereotype them that way. Just look at how I portrayed Susan. It is so easy to portray rich people as rich people who are snooty, snotty, or just not deserving. We only hear about rich people who win the lottery and blew it all on drugs, but we never hear about the rich people who intelligently saved or invested their money. We as a society, as a collective society, only see news stories on the minority of people who win the lottery. Obviously, most people who win don't go burn their money, but that's all we hear about, because it's the most entertaining. Thus, all we know about lottery winners is that they are stupid and don't know how to handle money. This is not just with lottery winners, it's with any rich person who hasn't clearly given to a philanthropic cause. Thus, we end up branding any rich person, whether they earned their money or not, as complete assholes. To connect back to rich people pretending to be poor, the reason why some rich people lie about being poor may just be because they don't want to be associated with the typical money-hungry, selfish person or the waste all my money I don't deserve rich person. They want to be known as Susan, not Rich Susan. That's why people may lie about their status. Plus, must be pretty awkward being known as Rich Susan when your science partner Jack is literally starving to death in front of you. I would just like to mention that regular people, or people of a normal or status below rich people, have the same feelings and do sometimes pretend to have a higher status for similar reasons. Jay's on the street. Jay's on the street. I found him. Jay's on the street. Jay's on the street. I got him.